what I do, I will hear a directive to someone else, my other front office coworker. I will either do it, respond to it, or something else. That's just kind of how I am.
Mm-hmm.
I I was like, I got it. I'm like, why did you walk by me? Because I think my mom already knows that some stuff she's trying to keep off of my plate because I care so much. I will fill up my plate because that's who she is.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, I think now I've started to learn not to take that personally, and
Mm-hmm.
to appreciate that way what I am working on, I can actually complete it. And it's like, whoa, I actually got some work done and I didn't neglect anything. And it feels good to satisfy everything that you need to satisfy.
So there's a part of that too that needs to be made out. Like there's a part of you, if you know that somebody in your life is doing that for you, you may got to pay more attention to that and start working on the ways that you can not put that labor on them. But also there has to be a communication where she got to be able to say, look, baby, you're doing too much. This ain't this, you know,
and
she got to be able to have a constructive way of saying that to you, and you got to be able to take heed so that you can't, so it can't, because again, that's an enabling relationship as well. Because that's how you burn out.
Yeah.
Because I understand, I know you, TJ, when you fall short on something, I guarantee you take that shit home with you. You take that home with you, and you gotta do that for yourself to figure it out, but also like be able to have a relationship with your mother or whoever it is to be able to be like, okay, they calling me on this. They wouldn't say this for no reason. Let me take heed.
I'm already defensive because I already beat myself up so toughly.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I've had a couple of people in years past, and I think once recently, tell me that I'm not the best at receiving constructive,
Mm-hmm.
and they're kind of right. I know how to be constructive because I'm already so constructive towards myself. And so it's like when somebody's trying to be constructive towards me, it's like, well, you can't be more constructive than I already am of myself. But that's just me being a little neurotic. So sometimes I just kind of have to like just let them speak, and then chew on it a little bit later, and then spit out the bones if I need to.
Yeah.
But if I need to take it, I need to take it. And shoot, that's what 30s is like.
That's all the 30s.
Learning the lessons that your 20s you were too stubborn to take. Man.
Yeah. And I mean, think about it, bro. Like you gotta understand, man. There's some shit that my wife has told me about myself, and for some reason, because it's her, this is how I knew I was gonna marry her, is because she's the only one that I could take it from and never got defensive, even if it pissed me off. I would just be like, well, tell me more of what you're seeing. Because if you know her heart, you know she's not going to come out of pocket for no reason. Like she's just not one of those people that's just going to say something because even if she's never going to be emotionally driven to try to like take you down. She's going to be like, look, bro, I'm really seeing this. Like you need to pay attention.
I was going to say her attentiveness is very cerebral. And so I think you have a respect for that, because it's like, you know, she's just not talking off the side of her neck. You know, she's speaking off of observation and attention and care. It's
Right.
the care.
Yeah.
It's the care part for.
Because see, you know what I'm talking about. Where there's some people that like you, or love you and you're not acting the way that they want you to act. And so they'll bring out a part of you that's just, and the way they attack it is like very self-serving. You know what I mean? I don't ever get that from her. You know what I mean? Never get that from her. If she tell me some shit, I'm like, damn. Even if I got to sit on that shit all day for 2-3 days. And she's even the one to tell you, she's like, I know you're sitting on that. Don't harp on it too much. Think about it, fix it, and get over it.
That woman, I swear. Oh, man. I can't wait to be in love like that. I really can't wait. I'm still not ready for it. I'm too selfish still. I think now, in my mid-20s, when I first moved on my own, I kind of went through this phase where, you know, I was craving it, and then I ended up fooling around with a lot of incorrect people, and just trying to have some type of company instead of, you know, having like a long-term thing, because it never lasted the longest. And then after a while, it's like, you know what? Bump that. I don't want to be around anybody. And so now I'm in this solitude phase where I'm comfortable in my aloneness, even when I have my lonely moments. I get over it. And it's like, you mean to tell me that I have to orient myself back to being around people and having to like you enough to tolerate you when I don't want you in my circle?
Well, I'll say this.
I'm not there
I'll
yet.
say this, and this is, I don't mean this in like the cliched version of this. I mean this like completely how I'm saying it. That is exactly where I was when I met Guinevere. Like, I was on some selfish. I didn't want nothing to do with that woman. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I did not want anything to do with her because I was living in this basement apartment on Magazine Street. I was working on becoming a rapper. I bought this little bullshit ass like studio setup, and I'm just in my fucking, ask Dom about it. Dom knows all about this studio setup. He was always there. I'm just in there trying to learn how to write raps. I'm just doing all this. And then I met her, and she just kept inserting herself in my life. Kept inserting herself. I didn't want nothing to do with her. I would be like, I can't go on no dates because I'm trying to be in the studio at my house. I don't want nothing to do with that. She would come over, bring a book, and sit on the couch in the corner while I'm sitting there trying to like learn how to write raps and learn how to record and shit. And she would just sit there and read a book and then be like, say this instead of that. That don't sound good. Say this instead of that. Like, we start giving like little things. She inserted herself. I was not fucking with it. I didn't want nothing to do with it at all. And then eventually, because I wasn't dating, I was in a solitude. I was so angry. I was angry at the world. I was trying to make something of myself. And here we go now. We've been together all this time, married happily with a baby. And it literally started off that she'll tell you I wasn't fucking with it. One time she came over to spend time. I fell asleep. And she just sat outside my house knocking on the door. Ended up having to go home because I done fell asleep.
And came back.
I know. I feel bad about that to this day. I do be feeling bad about that. So I've made up for that, obviously.
Man, I'll get there. I honestly, I gotta be patient with that.
No, and honestly, just embrace what the fuck you're feeling right now too, because that's gonna propel you into like what you're gonna bring to your next relationship. Like, I was unapologetic about how I was feeling at that time. She wasn't in a place to be in a relationship either, but the fact that we handle things the way we handled them, we're together now. Because had we both been in our like, if we both had met 6 months earlier when we were in our like love sick ways, it wouldn't have worked. Because we would have jumped right into that bitch hot and heavy and would have gone through every relationship emotion in 1 month that would have taken us all this time to do.
Yep. and see. And I have a couple of people nowadays that are trying to insert themselves. It's funny you say that. And something that Brother Shaq always has talked to me about with like identity is the idea of my belief that I deserve it.
Mm-hmm.
And I have friends telling me that I need to allow love to affect me. You deserve to be loved because of all that you do for other people.
Mm-hmm.
Let somebody love on your black ass.
Yep.
That's what they tell me. And it goes back to me being that bad critic of myself. It's like, man, it's like I already know how much my stuff stank. I don't need you telling me about it too. But that's love, though. Dang.
Yeah.
I'll get there one day.
I'll say this, man, and then we're gonna take a quick break, man. It's I'm somebody who I never thought. Listen. I'll tell you like this. I knew I was gonna have this love, but my approach to it, like I'm telling you, I know when it comes down to it, people are gonna have all kind of stories about how I was unavailable, I was this, I was that, I was this, I was that. It was because I never knew how to communicate. But I knew that those people weren't for me, and I knew I was gonna get the woman that I have. And that's all I can say about that. And I'm telling you, like Dom said, he said, man, he said, when you talk about your wife, your swag comes back. And I'm like, yeah, that motherfucker, that's my dog. That's my dog.
Like there was a sparkle in your eye, and I don't mean that in any weird way, I promise. But it's like there's an energy when you speak of Gwen. It's she she's not a burden. You don't speak of her burdensomely. You don't.
Mm-mm.
It just like it, and I'm as a hopeless romantic. I swear, I love to see it work. I love to see when it works, because it's like, okay, I'm a little closed off. I'm cocoonish. I'm in my cocoon right now, but I'll get back out of that cocoon,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna let somebody's gonna get a good one when they get me. I swear.
Yep. And you know what? Somebody also they gonna love you, and they gonna love that cocoon as well. You're gonna have somebody who gonna be like, look, you got somebody who gonna be like cool with being in the other room while you being in the cocoon, because that part of you is probably never gonna change. And that's okay, right? Somebody who's like, I'm in there watching whatever it is, and then you in the room cocooning because you need to replenish, you know what I mean, your spirit. But that motherfucker gonna be right there at the other end of that door, like, okay, you ready to hang out now? You ready to kick it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I'm that same way. I will literally go and my wife like, you need some time? Yup, I need some space. Just give me some space. And she go do 50 other things. And I come in there. We kick it, do our thing. We watch our little movies. All right, but I'm going to go back in here and go chill. Okay, yep, cool. Boom. You know what I mean? It's just a balance, man. And that's why I say embrace who you are and what you're experiencing, because this is always going to be a part of who you are. And for you to think that that's going to change because you're in a relationship is not going to be healthy for you. You know?
And for, I think for me, what I'm learning, what I'm learning right now is how I'm the same way all around. And so like, I think I cocoon romantically. I cocoon with friendships. Like, I have a couple of friends, especially B be hitting me up sometimes. Like, you don't be hitting me up, and you just be chilling. I'm like, yeah, like I have to. Sometimes I have to force myself out the cocoon too.
Mm-hmm.
you know, and it's like I have people that are really down for me. They down for a nigga, and so now I have to, as good of a person I am, I can't allow my personality sometimes to shut people out from trying to be there for me.
Right.
So yeah, and I think that'd be a good spot to segue into something else, man.
Well, look, let's go ahead and take us a little quick break, so we can go into our sponsors. Rise of the Kings podcast, episode 10, man. This is fucking dope, man. TJ, you really digging deep into me, making me get all cathartic on a motherfucker right now. Look, let's take a quick break so we can go to our sponsors. We'll be right back. Rise of the Kings podcast. Come on.